Hello, and welcome to the first recording of Asperger Leaders. My name is Dr. Rosalind Bergerman, and I am chairman of the organization Asperger Leaders. Asperger Leaders is an organization founded in 2010 that was established to provide support, mentorship, development opportunities for people in senior roles in business who have Asperger's. We are a membership body. You can find our website at www.aspergerleaders.org.uk. We are a global organisation, and a large part of what we do is to provide support, give advice to senior leaders in business who don't necessarily want to disclose at this stage to their employers that they have Asperger's. But in addition to that, we also go into organizations and advise them on how best to provide support to those employees that they have who do have autism and Asperger's syndrome. I have pulled together some videos that I thought would be useful for people who have Asperger's or high-functioning autism, who hold senior roles or are aspiring to senior roles in the workplace. Often we find all sorts of support and books and videos and blogs for people with Asperger's or high-functioning autism that help people to get into work. They are focusing on people who are trying to get in, people who haven't already made a career. There's some of us who have actually been able to enter the workforce and develop a very successful career. However, there are often, as we progress, there are additional challenges that we need to face as people with Asperger's or on the spectrum. And it's only those of us who have Asperger's or high-functioning autism who can understand some of the challenges we face. So I have pulled these together to give some advice for people from people who have Asperger's and who are in the workforce at a senior level. I hope that this series of programs will help people and give a bit more insight into perhaps some of the areas that are a little bit more challenging for us on the spectrum. This initial video isn't going to be a very long one, but I thought I'd actually start off on a more positive note. Generally, we tend to think about some of the challenges that we experience as leaders with Asperger's. But I wonder if you've actually thought about some of the assets that you have because of your Asperger's. One of the key areas where we as people with Asperger's actually tend to excel in the workplace is in the area of change. Now that may sound a bit of a contradiction to most people with Asperger's. Everyone knows that we tend to like things to stay the same in our own personal lives. We tend to find change a bit of a challenge. So how can I say that change for us is something that we potentially handle better than neurotypicals in the workplace? The reality is we have spent our entire lives learning to adapt to the neurotypical world. Change and fitting in and learning coping strategies to get through, to fit into the neurotypical world is something that we have done since before we've started school in all reality, but especially during high school. As we've entered the workplace, we've learned that it's more and more important for us to be able to adapt. Now, the nice thing is, as we have progressed in our career within an organization, and become far more leaders than just employees, we fortunately are in a situation where it becomes less and less necessary for us to fit in. We don't need to fit into the organization to the extent that we had to whilst we were still developing our careers. Nevertheless, it is still something that we have internalized. We know how to do it. It becomes a day-to-day activity for us, no matter what level you are at within an organization. In all likelihood, there will still be times when you need to adapt to a neurotypical think. So we have had to work at it much harder than the average neurotypical person. As a consequence, when there are particular change programs that take place in organizations, we tend to be the ones that actually can handle that much better than the average neurotypical from a coping strategy perspective. We tend to automatically go back to the types of coping strategies we have developed for ourselves as we've been going through high school, as we've started our initial jobs. Those kick into place quite quickly. Perhaps some of the challenges that we do need to address is how to not only adapt to change ourselves, but how to assist our teams working with us, any direct reports we have, any of our colleagues, to handle the change in a way that suits them. We can be a role model for them. Again, as I say, most people would hesitate, saying, no, change is going to be really hard for me. But really, do you think about it? Change is something that we have had to deal with all our lives. If we hadn't found ways of coping, we wouldn't be where we are today. If you would like to read some more about the topic of change, living and leading change as a leader with Asperger's syndrome, I'd like to recommend my latest publication coming out on the 28th of November 2013, called An Asperger Leader's Guide to Living and Leading Change. It's published by Jessica Kingsley Publishers and is available to order from their website or from the Asperger Leaders website, as well as obviously through any of the retail bookstores and Amazon, etc. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel, and do let me know if there are any particular areas that you would like me to cover in more detail and provide some support for you. I look forward to receiving some feedback. Thank you.